Hey, good morning, everybody, and we're back to the old Dell webcam, sitting back in the stuffy old office, but it's where I do my thing, And we spent the last couple videos out on the road and enjoying that time. But today we're back here in the office, and I'm going to try a little different format today. My wife, she's the brains of the operation here. She came up with a great idea. She keeps bugging me about, hey, you're sure everyone's got a Bible? You're sure everyone knows where to find the verses and things like that? So I'm actually going to record this video here on the webcam. Then I'm going to post it to my blog. And then within the blog below the video, I will have Proverbs chapter 9 there, so you'll be able to follow along if you don't have a Bible, or if maybe you're at work and trying to check this out on a break or something like that. You'll be able to have the verses in front of you. And I'm gonna read through a bunch of this today because this chapter is really short, and it continues on the invitations of wisdom and of folly, and folly relates to foolishness and things of that nature. But I'm going to throw this in my blog today. You're going to have to click from the Facebook page over to the blog, and I'm going to have to tell you that somehow else because you won't get here unless you do that first. But there's also other good stuff there, I think, on Jim Bull Talks on my blog. You can dig back and check out some of my past and history and how I've come to where I am today, and just some of my thoughts and ideas. You may agree or you may not agree on some of that, but that's what makes the world lovely, that we have the freedom of speech, that we can express our opinions and attitudes and share with others, and all hopefully grow from that. So anyhow, enough of all that. I'm going to jump into Proverbs chapter 9 here. Please share it around. Also here in the blog if you want. I'm not getting a lot of comments or discussions. I'm getting comments, but I'm not getting discussions about Proverbs in itself. There's a comment section below in the blog. If keeps it a little more private if you don't want to throw it out there on Facebook. That's cool. So again, chapter 9 starts invitations of wisdom and of folly, and I'm going to read through some of it here. Verse 1 says, "Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out its 7 pillars. She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has set out her maids, and she calls from the highest point of the city, 'Let all who are simple come in here.' She says to those who lack judgment, 'Come eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways and you will live. Walk in the way of understanding.'" That's verses 1 through 6. And this goes back in my footnotes. I looked and how I relate it. In yesterday's chapter, God talks us or tells us about how he had wisdom before he created the earth and everything in it. And that only makes sense. How else would you be able to pull off that huge task? But what I take this from here, he's saying is that wisdom has built her house. So he had wisdom before he had anything. And I believe that relates to us as human beings, that we need to have wisdom foremost in our life before we can have anything else. So that's verses 1 through 6. Check that out. He calls the simple in, the people who don't know. So remember yesterday we talked about simple, those who lack knowledge. Okay, so he's calling the simple in. "Come eat my food, drink my wine." She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. Sitting down, breaking bread together. That's how things were done back in the time that Proverbs were written, so to help you understand that. Let's go on to verse number 8. Big stuff here. Verse 7, chapter 9. "Whoever corrects a mocker invites insult. Whoever rebukes a wicked man incurs abuse." My take on that is, and we've all been there, if we try and correct someone, or if someone's mocking us and you go back at them about it, they just keep it up and get worse. The best thing, I think, is what God's trying to teach here, the wisdom of just ignore them, move on, pray for them. My wife always tells me to hate the sin but love the sinner. Okay, so going back at them, trying to correct them, they're just going to keep coming back at you. The wicked man, if you try and stop him, he's just going to abuse you more because he's going to make a target out of you. Verse 8, "Do not rebuke a mocker, he will hate you. Rebuke a wise man, he will love you." So that's just to finish up to verse 7 there. Then verse 9 goes on to say, "Instruct a wise man, and he will be wiser still. Teach a righteous man, and he will add to his learning." Isn't it true how people who have the right attitude, who have the right wisdom and knowledge, always want more? They're always open, more open than the mocker or the man who wants to incur abuse on you. Okay, they're always open. They want to be part of what you're doing. Seek out like-minded people. Again, hate the sin, love the sinner. Bam, got it right. Verse 10 reinforces, The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. In verse number 10 there. And I'm going to go back to my footnote. It tells me to see my footnote way back in chapter number 1, verse number 7, talking about what the fear of the Lord is. The fear of the Lord is a loving reverence for God that includes submission to His Lordship and to the commands of His Word. So again, the fear of the Lord, I think, on my take anyhow, is just understanding His Word and submitting to it. Okay, let's move on. Verse number 12. If you are, this is where it really gets cool. If you are wise, your wisdom will reward you. If you are a mocker, you alone will suffer. So again, follow the wisdom, learn the right stuff, and life will become better. If you're a mocker, you're going to suffer. Okay. And then 13 here, and I'd love some input because again, I'm just reading this stuff and telling you what I think or what it means to me, because it's all about interpretation. The woman folly is loud. She is undisciplined and without knowledge. And I don't think that the Lord had any intention here of busting down on women, but a lot of Proverbs is about being the ideal wife, the ideal mother. So they refer to the woman a lot. But to me, the woman folly is loud. She is undisciplined and without knowledge. I'm going to read on and I'll tell you what I'm thinking here. She sits at the door of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city. If we go back, when the Lord's talking about wisdom earlier in verse 3, she has sent out her maids and she calls from the highest point of the city. Okay, so wisdom is reaching out with good. Folly is reaching out with bad, evil, from the highest point in the city. Calling out to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Let all who are simple come in here, she says, to those who lack judgment. Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious. But little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of the grave. So again, it's temptation. I relate the woman folly to the devil, to Satan, to evil that's around us. And let's face it, I believe there's more evil in this world around us than there is good. And there's a lot of great people. Don't misunderstand me. There is more good people and great people out there than we realize. They just often are intimidated or scared to speak up, and are the minority in a lot of cases. So the mocker is going to go after them if they speak up, okay, and try and make fun of them. And people want to be accepted. They want to be appreciated. They want to be accepted. They don't want to be made fun of. So they keep quiet, okay. But here, this is evil calling out, and isn't it always that they make the evil stuff be the most tempting, okay? But what we have to learn, what I'm learning from having Jesus in my heart and from studying Proverbs, is that if you love God and His ways and seek His wisdom, the world is yours, baby. He's going to bless you unbelievably beyond measure. Try it. Check it out. I know it's difficult sometimes. Throw a little more money in the plate. Do what's right. Help someone out. Just do unto others as you would have done to you. And the Lord's going to smile upon you. He's going to bless you greatly. Remember, though, that you have to, I don't know how I want to say this right. You have to really follow the Lord. A lot of people believe, and it's more important, get Jesus here. Accept Him. Believe that He's your Savior. Because sometimes people believe you can be good, and that's enough. It's not, okay? You have to accept Jesus, all right? You have to have the wisdom. Proverbs isn't, and I'm learning as I go here, Proverbs isn't about good or bad. It's about having wisdom and knowledge in the Lord and trusting Jesus. So I love you guys. That's it for today. It's chapter 9, Proverbs. I'm going to list everything at the bottom of the blog here. I'm going to put all the verses in there so you can check them out. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day. We love you. Later.